Hi.
Then we have the foundational infrastructure working group update. Joseph wanted to Zoom with you. Who will do that?
Oh, did he? I didn't. He didn't.
Okay. This is what we discussed on our working group meeting on Thursday.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't check yesterday. Okay, I will ping Joseph maybe because he wanted to join actually the meeting. We can start and um, hello to the TUC meeting on 10th of December. Today we have the usual agenda. Maybe an update from the foundational infrastructure working group or not. And yeah, we can start with the action items from last week. So we had one action item about how other Linux Foundation projects are dealing with AI-based contributions. Are there any recommendations, best practices? Ram, you wanted to check on this?
The only thing I got when I checked was the same AI guidelines page. No new information.
Okay, let me put this then. Yeah. Sorry. Walking me trying to figure out something to write. Okay. We don't have Joseph yet in the call. Unfortunately, I also didn't prepare for the update. Most probably Ruben, you also.
No, I didn't, but I'm currently going through our list of things that we did. So.
Do you want to do this ad hoc or we can skip?
Maybe we can do it ad hoc at the end. So we first do the other things and then like.
Yeah, okay. I will give you some time. Okay, then we can continue with the project board. We have the inactive user PR, which is open for 1 week. So we had some comment here regarding maybe we can have exit interviews with people reported as inactive. Yeah, I answered here. I don't know what is your comment on this. I tried to give an answer. What I was thinking about this.
Yeah, I like your response.
Some people where you want to talk about it, but others you have never heard of. And
Yeah.
it's a nice mixture of GitHub.
And I would say a
comments.
handful of them, I know, like they don't work here anymore.
Well, then it's also
Yep.
Yeah, I
they
think
had their
that's
exit
really,
interviews.
yeah, that's really going to be your biggest feedback is individuals that stop working for companies that are either supporting working groups and or using CloudFoundry. I mean, I don't think you're going to get revolutionary information out of it more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. change of employer is like, I
Yeah.
think the main reason for people to, or like reorganizations, right? Like that happens on our side quite often, that people like get moved around and are no longer assigned to teams working on these types of things.
Yeah.
But we also see from time to time they come back, right? So it's constant change.
Yeah, I want
Reorg.
Dom back in networking, please.
Oh,
I'll just
yeah.
register that
Oh,
one.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah, this was also my thinking. I didn't comment so detailed. If an execution lead or someone from the contributors has close connection with the people listed here and thinks that he should be contributing, then maybe can get feedback why. But yeah, most of the time, as you mentioned, change of employee or topic, employer or topic. But we have to wait 1 week for the
Oh, was it
PR.
another week? Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
already approved it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So there is one repository which is not used anymore about setup we had back in the years to set up the workstations of the Bosch team or working group. Yeah. Thanks for the approvals. On the RFC side, I have the impression that the app manifest v2 is getting to a state where I have the impression most of the discussions are already there is an idea of in which direction to go. And we had a long discussion with the multi-application project where also Greg provided detailed answer to all the questions. What I want to say is I will ask Greg to resolve all the discussions which he thinks are already clear and update the RFC, and maybe we can try to start next week the final comment period. Or how do you feel about this?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You cannot specify such a big endeavor from the first to the last letter, so the implementation will then show the parts that were missing.
The main discussion was around how we want to deal with deleting resources, and here seems to be more like the approach that you need to configure this per resource explicitly in the it is here, I think.
There was a prune flag, I think, in the manifest, right? Something like that. And,
Yes, some metadata, which right. Well, basically this discussion, and there is a linked blog about other projects, how they deal with this situation, like Terraform or Kubernetes. I think also a library from Azure, CloudFront, if I recall it correctly, how they deal with this approach. And yeah, please check this part. I think this is one of the most critical parts of the RFC to get this more user intuitive, and then the rest. I think details has to be figured out, like in which order you have to create the resources, for example, because there is a dependency between the different kind of resources. Yeah. Okay. Regarding the other RFCs, there are no discussions, but there are many open discussions. That's why I would say we have to wait for them. So we discussed the Bosch one in our working group meeting, and Joseph wants to create another RFC, which he thinks is a prerequisite for this one. That's why this is a little bit in a standby mode at the moment. When he has the other one, yeah, this will be triggered again. Issues, RFC status. I don't think we have here anything. And on issues, is still same situation. So any other business? The API v2.
Yep. I was
Most probably
muted.
from you, Stephan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the CF API v2 RFC, well, is known and time passes. And meanwhile, we have a CF deployment built and released without v2 or with v2 disabled. So that's a good step forward. And the next step is now to disable v2 by default. And I want to mention it here because this may break the CI processes, concourse pipelines in the different working groups if you have v2. So the detailed plan, maybe you can click on the first link on this issue. I wrote it down. We discussed it in the ARI working group, and yeah. So we have already an enable v2 API YAML operations file added to CF deployment so that operators can re-enable v2. So that exists. It is at the moment a no-op. It doesn't make sense to try it out. The next thing is then step 2 and step 3. Step 2 is to disable v2 by default by changing the default for this configuration value in copy, and cut a new copy release. And from then on, already the develop version of CF deployment runs with v2 disabled, and that can already impact CI pipelines. And then step 3 is then to ship the new copy release as part of a new major release for CF deployment with red blinking release notes, writing to CF deployment to point out that now v2 is disabled and point to the ops file to re-enable it, which I guess the majority of landscape operators will do. For the pipelines, especially for the working groups, well, the right solution is, of course, not to use this operations file, but to get rid of sometimes it's often small things here and there, a call that can be replaced easily with a p3 equivalent. That was at least what we found in the ARI working group in copy, and also the remaining parts in CF deployment. Some CATS tests had to be fixed. Yeah, a heads up. The change is planned for beginning 25, so not before Christmas, but also not on the 2nd of January, but in the course of January, and then it will take the usual weeks until CF deployment is released. Yeah, I don't know how to communicate that more visibly than here in the TOC.
There is a suggestion with red blinking release notes.
Yeah, but also
blink.
especially the upfront communication now to the working group. So that was the idea why I put it explicitly here in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if this work group leads handle reached everybody. I don't know how this works, but may get surprising then. But okay, if you hit it, it's also easy to fix by the ops file, at least as a temporary
you could
solution.
maybe, yeah, I mean, you could maybe mention or ping or mention all the working group leads in this thread.
I think you did.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
you did already?
This
Oh,
one.
oh wait,
uh,
that one. Yeah, that should
Yeah.
actually do that. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea, that everybody gets it. So
Yeah.
Noted.
Yes.
Should
Good
the
work.
ops file be called something like enable v2 API warning this will break you eventually? Don't use this forever.
we try to stick to the conventions in CF deployment, but
This
the
is a bad
description of the
idea.
ops
It's
file,
only a temporary workaround.
yeah. And then we will continue with. Yeah, I guess we leave it then, and in the middle of 25, I would call then for a vote in the TOC, as we have written down in the RFC that phase 1 is now finished, and then we can enter phase 2, and in parallel. So there are already there's some work in the CF Java client to fix some issues and to increase the v3 coverage, and yeah, we will see. And there's one more thing where I don't know what I can do. If you go back to the to the meeting notes, we find one v2 usage in Concourse, in the authorization module that where you can integrate the authorization with CloudFoundry. And yeah, colleagues that know Concourse and use Concourse and provided within SAP have provided a PR to switch over to v3, but there is little, let's say, yeah, there's no response, no review. Maybe you can help here, because Concourse is not part of the CF Foundation. Okay, so it's difficult, but it's still used. It's not too big, and if something is wrong, etc., the SAP colleagues can then also fix it and work on it. But without a review, it cannot proceed. That would be helpful. If,
Yeah, Ruben and I can take some action items to figure out who to get this to.
Thanks.
Okay, I heard action items.
I
I hope you heard
it.
Ruben will take care of it then.
I don't know. It's going through a tunnel. I didn't get that part. Oh, it's already pinging someone.
Okay, good. And Chris, just to explicitly answer the question that you put in chat, yes, the working group who builds CFD has run this through CATS. Yeah. And because it passed CATS, I assume also smoke tests, but
yeah. So the full standard CF deployment validation pipeline. But of course, I know that every working group has additional pipelines, and here, yes, of course, surprises can happen.
Which repo was it? Was it Concourse, or was it a different one?
It
Concourse,
is Dex. Concourse Dex.
Yeah, I can paste into the chat.
Oh, I found it already. Thanks.
Okay. Are there any other topics?
We can do the foundational infrastructure working group update. I've added just a few items there. So as we all know, Noble was the Noble beta is ready. There are migration docs available. We have a templating RFC for the bosh language, which was also already discussed, and then there's a potential speed up using pgzip that was added to speed up, I don't know, creating like blobs in or doing tar in parallel using multiple CPUs or CPU cores. That's the things I found. Maybe there's other things that Beyhan remembers.
I wanted to check in Azure CPI, we had some.
Oh, we also did the OpenStack CPI, right?
Yes, OpenStack CPI now has the re-implementation in Go. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. We'll add that.
As you know, the OpenStack CPI is using some libraries which are not supported anymore. The fork library, the fork Ruby library to communicate with the cloud providers. And that one is not supported anymore. That's why the decision was taken to re-implement the CPI in Go. And now there is a version available in Go, which we use at SAP. Basically, it's a co-located job in the CPI project Bosch release, and you can decide which one to use, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah.
On Azure CPI, we had some disk migration improvements.
Are those done yet?
I think so, yeah. This was disk, not migration, but if you want to apply properties to the disk, this is done.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Uh,
because we still have an open one about like migrating, right?
Yeah.
From managed to non-managed disks or something. That's an open
Yeah,
issue. So.
Yes. But the CPI can now apply cloud provider properties without recreating the disk. So there is now a new CPI method which can deal with this update. And at least for Azure CPI, this has been implemented. Major work was been done in the Wharton and Docker CPI to support noble stem cell, because there are issues. Yeah,
I don't know if that's already done.
we merged this one, the work.
Oh, I see.
Thursday,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. So there's then bosh-lite, noble bosh-lite support, right?
Yes, yeah.
On Noble, there's meanwhile also the validation pipeline running in CF deployment, and there's one of these central issues where all the findings can be collected and then distributed over the teams.
It's on CF deployment?
Yeah, it is here. It's this one. The same way as we have done it the last time.
So last Thursday, we've been looking to the Noble wish list, or the open items in the Noble RFC, and it looks like we already have everything beside the disk resolution, which is still open. And Ramon wanted to look into this. Yeah.
Disk resolution.
Yeah, disk resolution.
Yeah.
Based on some regex.
Regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, with capture groups.
Yes.
But that's still in flight. Yeah.
So the issue is that the agent has challenged sometimes, the Bosch agent, to discover the attached disk, the part of the attached disk, and we want to make this somehow configurable so that the stem cell can provide some configuration for the agent, how the agent can find the attached disk, so to say.
Yeah. To find the disk paths, right, for given, and to figure out the IDs for those. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is all. So Postgres, we removed Postgres 10. And with that, some migration script has been consolidated.
I don't know, was that actually, wasn't that a bump of a gem that caused that? But we did both.
I thought it's related, but anyway, Postgres 10 is not anymore supported in the latest push release, and the migration script has been modified so that if you are, do we have a documentation how old your directory that from quite an old directory you're not able to update anymore, but it should be like 5 years old directory. Hopefully no one is running with such an old version.
Yeah, those the notes are in here, in the release notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruben, for the taking care of the meeting notes.
Yeah, then at least we have all the links in one place.
So, and I've been trying the last week, so since 3-4 days to get CloudFoundry running locally with bosh-lite and Docker CPI. I got quite far with that. I just pasted my last issue in the Diego Slack channel. Garden has an issue somehow. Yeah, maybe. It will be great if we can have something working locally with that setup. Let's see.
Yeah, that should work. I can take a look. I've done this before.
If this is my last issue, I think if then I can document what I did because there are a lot of things you need to do to get that working, at least on my Mac with Docker desktop. But everything is automated in a script. Should be reproducible. Let's see. Okay, are there any questions?
Yeah, AppArmor, you need to set to the AppArmor profile needs to be an empty string, and then and the kernel tweaking you can disable as well. So there's two. I will find the ops file.
Okay, I know in the Docker bosh-lite YAML was this ARMA. Okay, great if you can provide some input. Okay, there are no questions. And we are done for today. Thank you for your time. Take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.